And while we should all look forward to math and making abundant tangible habits, well, of course, you know the meaning of math is making abundant tangible habits. No. Yeah, that's a laugh that I probably imitated from a very dear friend of mine who is no longer here with us. Right? May God rest her soul. Miss Franklin Freighter. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, I will never forget. And that's part of the reason why I continue to do all of the things that I do while I am making abundant tangible habits. Right? Everything that I'm doing right now was pretty much for people like her and everybody else that I care about, that they're still, let's get to it. Let's get to it. You don't want to be in their institution for the rest of your life. You don't. I've seen people. Let me use an analogy that would make sense, right? Let me help you out with this. You can feed a man for 20 years and he'll forget you in 2 days. You feed a dog for 2 days and he remains loyal to you for 20 years. Now, pay very close attention to why I just said that. That is how institutions treat the teachers. And that's just cut and dry. Something I've seen with both of my eyes, with 2 of my late friends. Yeah? Over 20 years of service to the school. She was forgotten in 2 years. In 2 years, not one person ever said her name again. The chair where she used to sit down, it was almost like it never happened. Yeah. And then the lady that I mentioned a little bit earlier, Miss Freighter, I called her Quite Franklin. There was a page that I created for her called Quite Franklin. Let me tell you something. I remember she might have died maybe last year February or something like that. Don't remember. It took them maybe 2 months. And after the funeral, forgotten. And we're not saying do not teach your kids. We're not saying you shouldn't love the workplace where you work at. We're not saying that. But even Demetrius Johnson told us, don't empty your tank on just this one profession. Leave something for something else. Leave what's left in the tank for something else. That's what he said at his UFC Hall of Fame speech. Demetrius Johnson said that. One of the best mixed martial artists to walk the planet. Yeah? And why is that relevant? Because there are a lot of people who their job is their identity. If they're not a teacher, they're nothing. And nothing is wrong with that. But if you're going to be that dedicated, point it back to you. Take that dedication and have some of that for you. So that on that glorious day where they decide they're going to either kick it to the curb or you decide you're resigning on your own volition, whatever it is, you don't leave high and dry. That's what this is about. Social media agency for teachers. Right? It's not easy to monetize. It's not easy to build a community. It's not easy to build a following. But if you're consistent, They always tell you, if you're going to be great at anything, you need to be consistent first. Hence, the Bossman Digital Media, the Sup with Bro, the line, attitude has to be die when you die. Because discipline is everything when you do it every time. I borrow that line just like how he borrowed mine. Why? Because a lot of times we don't realize that you have to keep chipping and chipping and chipping and chipping away. You have to chip away. Like when you're digging a tunnel, you're going and you're going and you're going and you're going. And you can't get up and say, oh, I'm tired. You can rest a little bit, but go at it again. Because you never know how close you are or how close you were to the gold mine. So, I know this is very preachy, but let me just say this. There's another segment where it should be called, Since We All Know Pi, Let's Make This Arc. And is where we should have a conversation regarding the problems that teachers face. And this over here represents a solution to those problems. Right? Because what are you going to do? You create a Google form and say to people, hey, this is how you sign up for the class. I'm dropping the link in the Instagram so you can see it. So when you go to the Instagram, go there, click on the link. It takes you to the Google form. You sign up. In fact, I'll have the Google form in the WhatsApp channel as well. So if you're interested in being a part of the class, you don't even need to go to the Instagram. Yeah? And everything that I'm talking to you about, I'm going to have videos in either the pinned videos. You will see that on TikTok. You will see that on Facebook. You will see that on Instagram. So FIT. There you go. So we still learn to make adjustments, right? Because being flexible, very important. You don't want to be lacking in any area. I've heard a chess content creator, ChessGoon17, say, if you're a tactical player, you want to know how to play and advance a good position. If you're a positional player, you're going to want to know how to convert using tactics. You can't have any particular, like if you're going to be good, you have to be good at nearly everything. You can't just be, well, I'm good at positions but not tactics, or I'm good at tactics but not position. It's the same thing with this. Yes, have your 9 to 5, be good at your 9 to 5, but be good at your own 9 to 5 as well. Your own school, your own business, whatever it is. Be good at that too. Why? I have seen people in my own life give years of their service, made a lot of money for big companies, only for big company to get up and say, we're making your position redundant as of today. And there's nothing you can do to fight for that job to keep it. They just delete you. Oh yeah. Yeah. So, there are things that I will show you on the board. There are things that I will show you on the laptop. In fact, I'm going to go live at certain times. I want to say maybe between 12 to 4 every day. And it's going to be difficult because the days are unbearably hot. Unbearably hot. It's ruthlessly hot. Yeah. Unbearably hot. Yeah? No joke. And I've had to, again, we still learn to make adjustments. I've had to learn to make adjustments. Because if I did not, then a video like this I couldn't even make. Because being in my room, nah. Some days is unbearable. But the work still have to do. Don't do it when you feel better. You'll feel better when you do it. This is not just motivational speaking. No. This is providing a solution. Because I am not lacking imagination. I'm not lacking creativity. I'm not lacking originality. Not at all. I like to lead by example. And I'll explain. Imagine you apply and you wait. What are you going to do while you wait? You see this conversation that I'm having with you? That's what I'm doing. You see the content that I'm making, all of the plans of me going live, all of that. And going live every day, or maybe not every day, but 3 days consecutively, it can be exhausting. But if you have a routine and you have an understanding and you have a plan, it's not so bad. Because, for example, first person tutor was still a learn. 2 of my schools. You see, I'm going to focus my first person tutor content to be digital chess, where you are looking at a screen. So let's call it screen time chess. And then when we still learn, we make about that tangible habits, meaning hands-on. We're going to be over the board. And why is that relevant? Because it's good to balance. It's good to have both. Don't just have a side hustle, have the 9 to 5. That way when you're ready, you can lean on one more than the other. So, I am learning, the schedule. Go live Monday, go live Friday. You have classes Tuesday to Thursday. And while you're taking a break from the classes that you did, when you have your break, you say, okay, let's go live and give a little bit of a report on what happened. You say, oh, I had a good day today. If anybody else is interested, you know what to do, that sort of thing. Yeah. Why is that important? Having a routine, having a schedule, having a timetable. Because sometimes you will stray, and it keeps you from straying. It's like a song. There's an order. When you're rapping, you know. You'll know your first line to your second line to the third, Not an apparition, homie. I've been there the whole time. I remember back when I was rapping, I was so shy. Oh my, back when I was 23 and 09. And then you keep going because you know exactly what, you have your 1, then your 2, then your 3, then your 4, then your 5, then your 6. Why? Because you know what line's supposed to come before. So there's a rhythm, there's a cadence, That's the point of the schedule. It's only there to just keep you, making sure that you stay consistent and honor your commitments. My God, I've not said that in a very long time. Yeah. So, moral of many of the stories that I'm saying to you is this. Creativity, it will save you. Whatever hopelessness you're experiencing in any, regardless of your position right now as a teacher, you can get out of it by doing something just like this.